this podcast start? No! The standard is the standard. We set the standard.
That's right. Welcome to Time Beef Huddle. I'm your host, DJ K DuB Omaha. We greatly appreciate you tuning in tonight as your Omaha Beef gear up for that on-the-road game, last game of the regular season, as they take a trip down to Louisiana to take on the Rouxgaroux. Of course, we didn't have coaches show. Hopefully you guys understand with the holiday. Hopefully everybody had a great Memorial Day. But let's talk about the win. I mean, if you're here watching or you're joining the huddle, one, I greatly appreciate you. But two, don't be afraid to chime in. Of course, the Omaha Beef won a big-time game versus the Colorado Spartans this last Saturday. And, I mean, what could you say? I mean, it had everything that you expected it to have, except for the outcome continues to be where your Omaha Beef continue to show that with a team that comes together, you never know what could happen, as they won 30-27. Of course, I wasn't in attendance. I'm extremely sorry that I had a wedding, but, you know, things happen. I did get to watch it, though. And then I went out to the after party where we always go to Winchester's. Hopefully you came out there. Said hello to the guys, saw the players, and I tell you, the vibe's just different. And if you're not seeing it on the field from the coaches who are turning it into with the players and coming together as one, I don't know what you're watching. But that's 4 in a row as you're starting to prepare for the playoffs. Who knows what this weekend could bring? Now, for the Omaha Beef to have a home game, I think it might need to be like 100-0. Don't quote me, though. Don't quote me what can't happen, but it's got to be like 100-0, and we got to hope that Sioux City and Colorado both score 0 or something, but they have their own tough matches, and we just have one game at a time. You know, the biggest thing that I have to say is it's not where you begin, it's where you finish, and of course, you know, Ricky Burtz and the coaching staff and everybody has came together so much in this hard process, right? If it was easy, everybody would be an owner, everybody would be a coach. And what I can't say enough is just the way that the coaching staff stuck together and they looked to each other to take care of business. And you could tell by the atmosphere that they set that it's a team thing. Of course, you look at the players and it's player led, and that's what it has to be, right? Through the mistakes, through the stuff we could have done, we should have done. No matter what, all that matters is that score at the end of the game. And if you were there, you know, you have to tip your hat off to Contreras. It wasn't the greatest kicking. You know, he had, I think, went 1 for 4 on field goals. Of course, some of those were, you know, all the way backed up. It's we're trying to just get the ball down there. It's not always we know it's not going to result in a field goal, but there's no punting. So that's your kind of way to punt. But if you're in attendance, once again, the Omaha Beef, we greatly appreciate you because the Slaughterhouse was a rockin'. I wasn't there, but I know everybody told me about it. And those are the things that it's about. It's about you, the fans, helping with the environment. And I know you can see it. You can hear it. You could feel it. And what I mean by that is by simple things. When there's delay of games that happen on the other team, when there's penalties of false starts or offsides or any of those type of things, just know, Slaughterhouse, you guys, Beef Nation, are a part of that, and we can't do it without you. Now, we go into this show, and, you know, of course, we have a big week coming up. Louisiana's looking to revenge their loss to us just a couple weeks ago. But I don't know what the score is going to be, but I just have a feeling this is just going to continue the upward trajectory that the Omaha Beef are doing in order to get themselves the opportunity to play for another championship. Nothing's granted, nothing's gifted. As you saw, I think what's major with this team is who's still here. Who is the ones that are wanting to give back even when things were hard? And I think you got to give yourself, as a Beef fan, you got to give back to those players who have shown that even through the adversity, anything can happen. So I greatly appreciate all those players who have done what they have done to right the ship, right? And here we go into the next week. We got the road game. And what does that mean for you? If you're not going to Louisiana, and if you are, please let me go with you. I wish I could. If you're not going down to Louisiana, come on out to Hurrdat Sports Bar. Of course, this last week we had a big event for the Hall of Fame inductees, and we greatly appreciate those who were in attendance to hear their story. And we appreciate, Jason Unger and Todd Walkenhorst, who really gave you a little bit of the history of the Omaha Beef beyond the stat line and beyond the story that you thought you knew of different players. I mean, we had Clinton Childs, we had Dan Igo, we had, Dr. Semino, and then, of course, Tommy Armstrong. And then, what can you say for someone and all of them? They were all genuinely grateful to be a part of this history. And those are the people that continue to get inducted, are the ones that give back. Now, I know that, there are some people asking in the chat. We'll get to something maybe about that later. But as of right now, if you have any questions about the game, about the team, about what's going on, go ahead and put it in the chat. If not this Saturday, if you're not going down to the game, come on out to Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista. I will start at about 5 o'clock. Game kickoff is 6:05, and that is Central Time, so we're good there. 5:05, I'll start pre-gaming everybody, getting everybody riled up for this game. And let's pack it. Let's get Hurrdat Sports Bar and pack the house for one last game for your Omaha Beef, unless you're going down to Louisiana. But we're going to go ahead and bring on our first guest here coming up. It's going to be Coach Marty here after this short break.
It's pretty simple. We change oil.
As a single parent, I come here because I trusted what my car care needs.
It's been very good, very fast. I've never had to wait.
They've never tried to upsell me, but at the same time, they have always given me options.
It's great customer service, very friendly staff, and it's really fast and easy to get in and out.
Stop by King's Fast Oil today. We change oil with a smile.
I love these guys.
You know what's funny? Coach Marty, welcome to the show. I greatly appreciate you joining us. Defensive line coach, of course, equipment manager as well. We can't do what we do as far as making sure these guys are ready and prepared without that. But King's Oil, here's what I want you guys to know about our sponsors and our partners is he's actually one of my customers. He's been one of my customers longer than I've been with the Omaha Beef. And my truck broke down today in front of his house, long day trying to finish stuff. So I sent him a message and he's like, is there anything that I can do for you? I got a jump box, all this. That is the service that I know that they do out there at King's Oil. Make sure to check them out. Thank you again, Mr. Freeman. We appreciate you not only supporting the Omaha Beef, but of course, DJ K DuB and Wired Access and everything we do. Marty, Coach Marty, the year has been something that no one imagined. If you look back to the day that they announced that you were going to be a part of the Omaha Beef coaching staff, what do you remember about that day? And what do you feel about today where you are with the position?
What I remember was, it's exciting because it's a different adventure for me. Normally in the past, I've always done nothing but equipment and things like that. I got really close with the players. But this year, I was able to use some of my knowledge and use some of my expertise that I've had, that I was able to help the D-line. And Coach Negron actually brought me on to expand because he felt like I was more than just an equipment guy. He felt like with all the knowledge that I've had over the years of being around this game, that I can at least step in somewhere to help out more than just being, like I said, the equipment guy. Looking at it now, our D line has come a long way. It's different, and even the team itself. It's we've had different pieces. We were just missing little pieces here and there, and we've got those pieces now. And hopefully, with this one on, we can make the run that we need to run in the next 3 weeks.
Well, and I mean, of course, we know the veteran status, right, on the defense. I mean, we have been blessed, especially in your front three and then your back four. And then that linebacker's been, a rookie and so new. But besides that, you've had a lot of experience. What do you think has been one of the biggest changes these past 4 weeks amongst your defensive line that maybe we weren't getting from before?
Chemistry. We've been working a lot more together. Everybody's starting to be on the same page. Whereas we're no longer, I will admit, probably in the early beginning, we were all playing like individuals because we didn't know exactly where we were standing and where we were fitting. Now everything is starting to come together and everybody's playing together. Everybody's having each other's backs and we're all on the same page going forward.
You, of course, look back to those early weeks and those losses and, you said, how you were just brought in as a coach and some of your stuff, but what was some of the hardest parts about those first 5 weeks and those losses for you? I mean, for someone like myself, I coached high school football. That's as high as I went, and I coached defensive backs. I didn't coach D line, but our D line was always something that everybody talked was going to be so great. What do you think you kind of learned from those 5 losses that has kind of helped yourself as a coach?
As a coach, I would probably say not to take everything for granted. Basically, I was with the amount of talent that we had on this D line, I basically took it for granted, honestly. And that humbled me when we started losing. So we went back to the practice field. We went back to the lab and just started going at it. We started nitpicking at the little things that we were doing wrong. We needed to correct our mistakes. And now the evidence right now is starting to be that we have a 4-game winning streak going. So everybody is starting to gel. We added in Freedom that came in to help out the D tackle position, which was a tremendous upgrade. So everything right now is just going really well. Munoz, D Hall, even David Francis, who we got in. They're all starting to gel together.
Well, and you of course, I know earlier in the season, Jay Wash was not going to be a part of the D line except for sparingly. How much of an impact of having him or not having him has that been for you guys?
It's been hurtful, honestly. Because with him, he's very versatile. He can do just about anything. If we need him on the D line, we can play D line. If we needed him, drop him back to linebacker, we could do linebacker. But he was also playing offense, running back. He was also playing a little bit of tight end receiver type. So he's very missed. And we were, hoping he can get back in time and we can just have him on the field, so ready to go for the playoffs.
Well, and I tell you, man, seeing that dude score a touchdown when he jumped up over the defender, man, that was just seeing him love the game of football. Now, you said one thing of not taking it for granted. You take some of your own things for yourself, which is what coaching is about. When you can man up and say, this was things I could have done better. How hard is it to coach veteran defensive line when you look at the experience that your defensive line has had? Obviously up until now, obviously Francis is new and we already know Munoz has played elsewhere, so he has obviously a history. How has that kind of come together for yourself?
I mean, it's coming. With a veteran D line that we had coming in at the beginning of the year, I'll be honest, I didn't exactly know where to start with these guys because I felt like they already had a system, they already had a rhythm going of how they worked. But we have to go back and look at the tape. We have to look back at the film, and then maybe we can start picking at what needs to be corrected or what needs to be that can be done better. dipping low on the offensive line or going, to the right or to the left better, getting your hips down lower, something that, so within these 5 losses, we started, like I said, we went back to the lab and just started working and working and working. So, and now, I mean, Munoz has stepped up. I mean, he's played D tackle when we needed him the most, when we needed that position, and he had no problem. He said, okay, let me move over. And then that, gave up with Jay Wash. They gave us with Rudy also when we had him here. But now we got D-Fran, and now we moved Munoz back to the outside, and we've got Freedom, along with D Hall that can come in and spare. So I think we're going well now.
Of course, you look back these past 4 weeks, who have you kind of maybe given a little credit to kind of help you gain a little bit more for yourself when it does come to coaching these vets? Who's kind of been someone you've been able to lean your shoulder on and get a little feedback from?
I'm going to be surprised. It's, a lot of the veterans themselves. They all came up and they said, we need to work on this. We need to work on that. D Hall has been one that has also been vocal about the things. And then now D-Fran, even though he's a rookie, I mean, he's coming in, he's eager, he's hungry, he wants to learn. And Shaq from the offensive line, he's helping us too. I mean, he's been around this game for a while, so he's actually trying to help get us what we need to do. He knows some of these O-linemen, so he's giving us little tips on how to handle each one. So Shaq has done it well for us.
How does it turn up just a little bit more when you have a brother on the offensive line and defensive line for you guys? What have you guys seen with that type of leadership?
It's big because Freedom, like I said, has come in and he was somewhat new to the game, but he's picked it up. These last 2 games, he has picked it up really well, and now he's starting to dominate. He came in, he saw the hunger that we had in our eyes. Let's go back into the game on Saturday. I mean, we were kind of feeling down going into the 4th quarter. He led us. He jumped in on us and said, hey, this is not the team that I came into. It had that fire in their eyes, that had that passion, that wanted to win. And he jumped on us, and we came out in the 4th quarter, and we took control of that game. So he's been a tremendous asset.
That player-led stuff, you can't buy it. It's nothing you can purchase.
No.
They either have it or they don't. They either want to be that leader or they don't. And to hear that, that's what kind of changed your 4th quarter. What do you think really was the advantage that you guys were able to find in that 4th quarter to help you secure that win?
The passion. We knew what's at stake because we do not want to go in at a 6 seed. We have our goals. We want to at least get up to the 4th seed if possible. So if we were to lose this game, that would have hurt us. But we now have a 4-game winning streak. Now we can move on. We can possibly go down to Louisiana, come back with a 5-game winning streak. And that way it'll help us. We just got to have little things fall in places, and, hopefully we can get to the 4th seed.
Marty, before we bring on our special guest here and one of your D guys to be our guest, what's one thing that Beef Nation should know about Marty outside of football? What's the one thing that makes you go, and what do you do in the off season to keep you going?
I love the game. I love indoor football. My passion is I also love to do like sports cards. So that's a kind of hobby for me. So I try to find, and that's why I went searching when we got Tommy. I went searching for his cards. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any, but I got the ones that J and K actually did. So that was good. But yeah, I love Beef Nation, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but the orange and black.
Well, I greatly appreciate you letting Beef Nation kind of know what you're about and who you're about, and introducing Coach Marty just a little bit beyond. He's the quiet coach. Please remember, you might not even know he's there, but just know he knows what he needs to get done. And obviously we've seen that whole defense come together. And I think, when Coach Loftus has been around for so long, you've of course been here for a little, those are important things to hold everybody together. So I greatly appreciate you sharing that. We're going to jump off a quick break, a little, while you said it, the JK personal touch highlight reel from this last week before we bring on our special guests. I hope you guys are ready.
Kick us up. It is long enough. It is.
Welcome back to Primetime Beef Huddle, where, of course, I got the coach Marty on. And, of course, I'm welcoming back Mr. ROC. Welcome back. Now, you're a video guy. What did you think of what John and Kate do there at Personal Touch, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
You hear me? All right. Yeah, no, I can hear you. I can hear you. But no, I like what JK Personal Touch do. I know I told him from the first season I was here, that I like the production side that they have. You know, they have the equipment ready. You know, they're there early and they're interactive with us. And you know, they do a lot more than just Omaha Beef. So to see them too manage it so well, it was something that, you know, I looked up to, and you know, I definitely ask questions every time I'm here, camera gear and all that. So
well, welcome back, first of all. Second of all, now I've been around for 3 seasons. Those jerseys were pretty bad. Those are badass jerseys. I'm going to be honest. What'd you think, ROC?
I like the black ones. I like the ones that they been doing this year. Different design. I love switching it up. I like the. We got some other colors coming up. We got a nice another color scheme to wear this weekend that I've never wore, but I like to see the different jerseys.
Heck yeah. Well, welcome back. You know, ROC, Coach Marty, you know, you get to add another piece to that important defense. What does it mean to have ROC back? I know you've been around him for a while now, and these things are important.
It's great to have him back. He's a big game impact changer. Anything that he can do on that field, he's going to wreak havoc.
Now, what are you hoping he fills in, or what's some things that you think he's going to bring these last couple weeks that we're looking? Of course, We already talked about possibly unknown if Jay Wash should be, but hopefully we never know, should be back. Where do you feel ROC is filling in for you guys?
I feel he can jump in anywhere. He can play rover, he can play linebacker, and he can even play on the D line. And even if we need to, we can jump him over and play on the offense too. I mean, he's that versatile of a type of player. So we're excited to have him back.
ROC, of course, we got Coach Marty moved up a little bit this past year from just being equipment manager. What does it mean to have kind of that personal, that personal where you're able to know everybody on that defensive side has not changed and has been kind of the rock, like your name, but the rock of the Omaha Beef, Coach Loftus and Marty's still here. And, I think that's got to be important for a player like yourself to see the consistency on that side of the ball.
No, it's something that definitely helps anybody. I think even the rookies will be able to, catch on to the type of coaches they are and, appreciate them. But for someone who has had them multiple years, it kind of makes it, especially in my case, like just jumping back into it, they understand how I process the game and, I can ask them questions. I know who to go to and we know how to communicate effectively. So just being comfortable with the coaches, and it just makes it easier for me to turn it on game time.
Of course, Coach Marty's been around for a while, and he's working with the D-line. What's some things that you see is going right with the D-line? And he, of course, has admitted some things he knows he could have done better. What do you see is going to continue to get better with that defensive line? And being able to, I mean, you know me, man, when I'm in the end zone, especially if it's all that goal line, with me and my camera, I'm sitting there, let's go, let's eat, baby.
Yeah. Now, I'll definitely say what I can expect is just some aggression. That's something I've definitely seen ramp up from, this last Colorado game from the first one. It's just the aggression that they're playing with. And, I hope that, with my history, I can add to some aggression and allow them to freely fly, let them do some pass rush moves, let them get some real one-on-ones, and, they can play their game. I can play my game. We can complement each other, and,
Now, I have a question. I don't know what you guys see on your side. Have you seen the messages that I've thrown out there that people have said? If not, it's
yeah, I seen them.
Okay.
JK just sent one.
Yep. Welcome back. Can't wait to capture you on the field again. You know how 2026 chapter needs to end. Of course, super fan Nick Carver out there. Let's go. Welcome back. I love teasing him. He was like, who's going to be on the show tomorrow? I said, I'm not telling you, but I'm going to tell you. You want to watch. And then, of course, Bobby.
I was a little prepared for the interview.
You were or weren't?
I were.
Okay.
I stopped by one of our sponsors, Achieve, and someone gave me a heads up that I was gonna get a call from K DuB.
That's right. I appreciate everything that Brian and his team does, not only for the players and the Omaha Beef organization, but of course the community. And my daughter is at the front desk, so I appreciate him taking care of that part as well. For my daughter.
The funny thing about it is Brian and I, and even his brother Eric, went to high school together.
Oh, see, they're like my brothers. They're like so I worked with their brother Joe, the youngest one, and their mom is like, I call her mom, and their family. I DJ'd. In fact, my first wedding ever as a DJ was their sister D, as that's what she goes by, D. And the worst part is it was January 1st. Nothing wrong with that. But we go out to light candles with those things that fly in the air. You light the candle and all of a sudden the thing blows up and flies in the air. The DJs flew up in the air and flew right on top of the brides and started on fire. That's why those things are not safe. But anyways, that's 14, 15 years ago. I greatly appreciate this small community. It just tells you you're one person away from knowing someone that you thought you knew. So Coach Marty, do you have anything last before we get you out of here for ROC coming back and for the Omaha Beef Nation this weekend?
Just prepared. I mean, we're gonna go down to Louisiana and we're gonna wreak havoc, and we're gonna just come back with a victory. It's gonna be a long trip down there and a long trip back, but hey, it's gonna be worth it when we come back with a win. And ROC, I'm glad to have you back, man. We're just ready to wreck you on that field and just let you go loose. So,
all right. Well, thanks again, Coach Marty, for joining Primetime Beef Huddle. We'll get you out of here, and ROC, we'll be right back here after this commercial. That way we could share where you been, what you doing, and that way Beef Nation can get to know ROC one more time.
Omaha Beef Football, Prime Dancers, Rump Roasters, Slaughterhouse, are you ready? DJ next one. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse where we run it. Yeah, we really want it. Beef Nation got them shaking. Got a ring and we flown it. Prime Dancers be on it. I bet the competition's no opposition. We come to take and we done it. Ricky is the chief saying, let's go beef. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Orange and black. About to win this. Defense stays on attack. You on a hit list. Spiking, blocking, and dumping, jumping out the gymnasium. You want to see the best meet us at the Beef Stadium. Yeah. Orange Kingdom. Welcome to the Orange Kingdom. Let's go, Beef. Orange Kingdom. Slaughterhouse. Orange Kingdom. Prime Dancers. Let's roll, baby.
That's right. DJ K DuB and ROC hanging out. Man, do you remember that? Do you remember some of those?
I remember those games. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome back.
I seen Boys Town, Colorado, Idaho. I think that was it.
Want to give a shout out to the Vosses. They both have said welcome back. Glad to have you back. They missed you. So we want to give those shout outs. We greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. Man, ROC, what's been going on, man? I mean, what does Beef Nation need to know about ROC and what ROC's been up to these past couple months? Of course, you've seen what has happened with the Omaha Beef, and you wouldn't come back for nothing. So obviously, what have you been doing these past couple months? What should we know?
So I've been home in Columbus, Ohio. Honestly, just been working. Trying to grow. I do video production outside of football, so I was trying to put a little more time and attention into double our productions, and like I was saying before, and that's why I was asking so many questions with JK throughout the years. Is it's just something I do too. So kind of focusing on that. Also had, I don't know if you know, but I joined a fraternity, Omega Psi Phi. So I done that in the off season. I'm a Neo right now. I crossed February or March 14th. So around the time y'all started the season, I was with Omega Psi Phi. But outside of that, just working, and it just it got to a point where I wanted to explore the different things in my life. But it's hard to ignore football, because that is like probably the biggest thing in my life. Something I've been doing as a kid, and it's probably like taking me the furthest in terms of like traveling and seeing the world. Is what football has done for me. So it just got to a point where it was just perfect timing. Kind of I wouldn't say the turnover was quick, because I've been talking with Loftus and and Ricky throughout the season, and Negron when he was here. But it just wasn't. It wasn't the right time. We don't really mess with God's timing. But when I was asked this past week, it felt right. It felt like I needed it to come make a statement, not only for myself but for Beef Nation. And yeah, I'm here to play 4 games, win 4 games.
Well, what I love about it is we've seen this before for the Omaha Beef. I mean, Tommy came back later last season, and the timing was right? Like there was some injuries that were going on, some things that, is what it is. And it just felt right. And for you, of course, we all have already said it earlier on the show, Jay washes out, that D line needs some extra attention, but also could float backwards, right? And play that linebacker, where I think they really utilized you a lot more last year because you're a downhill guy. You're going to come downhill and lay the wood every time. You're not going to make the hit not be worth it. You're going to make sure it's worth it. How about your body? How have you been able to keep your body? I mean, of course, we all know that you're chiseled. Okay. I don't have to lie. I'm a big guy. This dude's chiseled. He does the right work in and out of the gym. How have you been able to keep your body this whole past couple months?
Honestly, and that's what I made a joke last night, just saying, I need to get acclimated a little quickly. But I mean, honestly, just taking care of my body. I've been running a lot more in this off season, hitting a couple of 5K, 10Ks, PRing in those times. So obviously my conditioning is there. But honestly, just staying in the gym, like even with football not being present, like you got to make sure at least the working out and taking care of yourself, that part just never really goes away. And that's like that's off-season therapy for you. But yeah, just always staying in the gym, staying consistent, and just finding some ways, get your cardio in, always in the field, just staying ready, always having that bag packed at the door,
Always ready. And it's funny because all of a sudden, I'm recording at home because we're remote today, and that's why ROC's not in the studio. I would have loved to have him, but my wife is like right behind me in this room behind me, and so she jumps on and she's like, "Welcome back." What I love about this is we seriously last week just moved my daughter to college, Northern Ohio, so that's around your way. So when I go to visit her and you're back home, obviously not these next 4 weeks because we got things to do. But when we go visit her, now I know who I need to get a hold of if I want to see something in Columbus. And I appreciate that. Well, we want to give a shout out here to Mr. Turner, giving that muscle with ROC. What do you think of for yourself these past 4 months? What's the one thing you miss the most probably about the sport of football for you?
That's a good question. There's a lot of answers and off the play style, and like right off the top of my head, it's imposing my will. That's outside of football, it's not much. I'm a pretty cool passive guy, and football is where I can express that, and it shows in my play, and that's what has been mentioned. But like just being able to, like you said, just come down and hit something. That's like you never gonna get that anywhere outside of football. But outside of that, the discipline of football, I can take care of my body in the off season all I want. I'm not really hurting it to the point where I got to put attention to it. But once I'm out here in the season getting hit and my body's falling apart, still having that discipline to get up, take care of it, make sure you eat, joining meetings, taking care of anything back at home. It comes with the discipline factor that it turns it on when you're here. So just being around a system, I miss that camaraderie with brothers. It's a little different back at home, but yeah, just the discipline that comes with football and just getting out there and hitting something.
How does that conversation go for yourself this past week when you are deciding that it's coming back to the Omaha Beef with family? How did that conversation go for yourself, and what was probably the hardest part, and what do you think was the easiest for family and everybody to understand?
I like that question. because I would like to think that it was an easy decision, but definitely something I put a lot of thought in. Honestly, throughout the whole season, I've been thinking about it. But the hardest part was obviously all of the commitments and obligations I had back at home. Not only family, family's very supportive, and it was sudden, but they were behind me. They knew they know what football means to me. So I think that was the easy part. Let me say that. Talking to my family, them being supportive and understanding this is where I thrive in the football environment. But yeah, the hardest part was, I got a couple of video shoots coming up. I gotta tell my clients that, you gotta find another videographer. I apologize. And stuff with my job, just those type of obligations was the hard part. Just cutting those ties, even though it's at the most 4 weeks, and it's still just it being sudden was hard. But for myself, it was just understanding that this is something that I've done before. It's not the first time I'm playing football, and the same person shows up every time I play football. So just trusting that, just trusting the work and discipline I put into it. And I just want to say, there's an artist that just dropped 3 albums, and one of them was Iceman. Second track was Dust, and I think I heard that song and I instantly was like, oh yeah, I think I gotta play. When he said it's time to go blow the dust off the plaques. Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, why am I not playing right now? So
hey man, you hear the right thing at the right time. And when you talk about these obligations, of course, I think those are some things that sometimes fans forget, right? Beef Nation don't know, but I mean, I do a lot of media outside of just the Omaha Beef, and I could tell you, like, when I'm in season for the Omaha Beef these past 4 or 5 months, and I know that I did a lot more the whole year, which I'm grateful for Ricky and everything that they have allowed us to do here with Time Beef Huddle, with the videos that we make. But unfortunately, like, wired access takes a back burner, like, because I am so wrapped up, and it sucks because you love the passion and the drive of what you get to do, but you also know that your time is coming to an end where you might not be able to do what you want to do. And was that kind of part of the feeling as well? Like, you've seen some of your teammates and your brothers actually and officially retire. I mean, Tommy's not coming back, no matter how much we got him a jersey that said number, Armstrong on the back. He had a black jersey. So people might have got excited thinking he was coming back, but he has officially hung up the cleats. He knows his time. What's that been like for you?
That is something that every athlete is going to face. And I don't think that's the mindset that I had going in, but definitely a mindset or definitely a thought that helped me make the decision to come back. It's I'm able and I'm capable. Nothing is really holding me back, at least physically. That's what goes first. If you can't really play the sport, no matter how much your heart and mind into it, it's not going to work. So knowing that I'm physically able to be out here playing, and I'm 27, so like I'm in prime years. I'm in prime years of what I can be and what I can do physically. And I rather that thought has came, like, I can be using this ability right now because it is a time where I will be sitting out, and I can chase as much as I want in the video production.
You talked about hitting people and doing that. We got Carver again hitting people back into time. We got TJ over here. You joining in. We appreciate you tuning in. Any beef player that joins in, we greatly appreciate it. There you go. And then, of course, the owner. Ricky Burr's putting out there, we're glad to have ROC back on the field wearing orange and black. And it's just one of those where, timing has came. Of course, you've also seen the change in the coaching staff. What was that like being a former player for yourself? You had it happen to yourself last year. What did you think about what was going on from a former player's aspect, but also someone who loves Beef Nation?
Now it's tough. Definitely being on and it's happened to me in college. You know, the coaching staff that's recruited you, they're the ones leaving. So it's like, you know, it's bittersweet because it's like you want to play for that coach, but you know, you understand it's deeper than that because, like you said, at the end of the day, I wasn't really playing for Tatum. Tatum got me here, but I was playing for Omaha. Omaha was on my jersey. So it's like, even with Tatum leaving last year and the grown coming in, yeah, the coach changed, but at the end of the day, the fans are the same. We're still playing for the same fans, same team, same colors. So you know, it's a sense of, you know, pride that comes in, or at least that you have to have in those moments. You know, it sucks losing your coaching staff, but you know, just embracing change and using that on the field, using those emotions on the field, it's definitely ways that a team can get closer. I think we definitely got closer after the coaching change last year, and honestly, it kind of looked like that's what's happening this year with their coaching change. And what Marty was saying, just seems like everyone's getting tighter.
Well, I mean, you know, being a player who's thinking about coming back, you had to see that in order to make that decision for yourself, right? Like, you had to feel like, I'm coming back for a reason. I'm coming back and I'm seeing that they're going through what I've already done. That's kind of added a little bit to it, right? For you?
For sure. It wouldn't make sense to come back for one game. So, you know, them being in Omaha Beef being in playoff contention, you know, and the possibilities of playing 4 games, that's better than one. So, you know, they held it down on their end, getting to the playoffs and fighting their way for a spot. And, you know, like I said, perfect timing. And I'm glad and, you know, grateful that I'm here to help bring another championship.
Now, as far as you know, the football side, what is your preparation? How are you ready for this Saturday already? Besides, of course, having the defense be something that is familiar, there's not big changes, but of course, it still has to be where you trust the guy next to you, because without trust, you cannot just ball out. I mean, it's that simple. For anybody that has played the sport, knows that trust has to be important. How's that going to be obtained here before Saturday for you?
No, that is true. Just playing with, you know, different players, the chemistry is not going to be there. It's going to be a little off. You know, we getting practices in, but honestly, we're going to see with the first couple of plays, you know, just having that feel for each other. And once they see that we're actually bringing it, and once they see just how it is in game, it just makes it easier to just trust the person next to you. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but like, once, you know, everyone has a plan until you get hit in the mouth. So once we're actually out there hitting, we're not worried about the plan we was having. We're about to find a way to adjust and make it right, and then we can build on from there. So, you know,
Well, at least
I'm
if
excited.
you had to go to
I think they understand
linebacker,
too.
at least if you went to linebacker, the brothers out there at the DBs, I mean, all but one are vets. They are Omaha Beef vets. So, I mean, you at least know that the communication amongst yourself and them is going to be similar to what you've already experienced. Of course, we all know that Jalen Perkins has been just going off for the Omaha Beef with multiple interceptions and being a viable former Nebraska prep, someone who's from Omaha. You know, what are some things on the Omaha Beef these past 4 weeks that you've seen that has kind of also drawn your eye to want to come back?
Honestly, what I've seen, I honestly seen the players playing out of position. I think that's one of the coolest things that I've seen. Just it kind of just shows, like you said, not only are they having fun, but like they're sacrifice. I think that shows sacrifice. Getting out there to play out of position for your team, or it just can be straight for fun. But just showing people, it feels like they're playing for each other. I think that's what changed the most from like watching pregame, watching week one, just seeing how well they played with each other, and like the picks. I've seen the picks with Perkins and all that, and they can have the field day, the back four. I know with linebacker, it's more so we the front four. So if we can get pressure, they can have a field day back there. They get as many picks as they want.
Well, we gotta give a shout out for back-to-back games for good old Chris Perry for the last interception to give us the opportunity to get those wins. It's amazing when you see veterans who came back to play a little bit more with their brothers, and like you said, seeing that fun. And for those who are wondering what he was talking about playing out of position, I think Dev has been a great example of playing whatever coach needs him. And I there's only 21 of them on the sidelines, and one person might go down or bumped up or two, that just drops it down in your subs. And of course you got kickoffs and you got kick returns and people still got to be out there. It's not easy, but like ROC said, when the decisions are made by the players to do these things, you start playing on a different level and you stop thinking about yourself. So I greatly appreciate you taking notice of that, not only as a former player and a current player, but someone who loves the game of football and knows what it takes to be championship caliber. And now it's a long road to get there. But what do you remember about the Rouxgaroux as you're about to head down to Louisiana? Have you ever been down there?
Yeah, we played. I want to say we played
last year once, right?
Last year, yeah, away. And I'll say, I think it's a hostile environment. I don't really know what it's going to be like, at the end of the season. That kind of always changes. We played them early, so the fans are a little more hyped. But I say like that environment was pretty hostile. Not mean like a bad hostile, but like they were loud, they were into it. Crowd was into it. They had a nice little moon war or whatever their mascots do. But it was like it seemed like a fun environment for the fans. So environment wise, I know they're going to bring it. But we're playing our game and we're focused on us. We got championship goals to go through. So now we're gonna be there to dominate. Yeah, that's the best way they're going to affect us is through their fans.
Now, of course, you've missed a lot of questions. I don't know if you've seen the videos, but of course we put them out there, like whether it's zombie apocalypse, and which teammate's going to help ROC survive the longest, do you think? If you looked across the board, which one of your teammates would help you survive the longest?
I'm gonna have to go with Juice. I'm gonna have to. That's my that's my dog since season 1. So I know Juice gonna have my back.
Gets one.
That's all we need. Yeah.
Mark him up. He didn't get one, so we give him one. Another one we did was, of course, for the Smitty's Garage. We were out there for a meet and greet for a burger. If you had a burger, what would be the toppings and what would ROC call it?
All right, I got this. So, I don't know if people just had toppings, but we're gonna call it the Rahmaan special. You're gonna get your regular little Angus beef burger, but you gotta have a chicken patty. So you get a nice cheddar cheese, put a little fried chicken patty on top, and then I keep it basic with some mayo, or spicy mayo. I like the lettuce, tomato, pickle. All the fixings, but you gotta have that cheddar and that the fried chicken. I used to make it at McDonald's with the McChicken and a burger, so with the mac sauce.
I was a GM at BK for the longest, and I had friends that would come in and get special. So I had one that would get the chemo sloppy, and all it was 2 chicken patties on a bun with cheese. That's it. There was no mayonnaise, no nothing. He just called it sloppy because the cheese melt. And then the other one had that 4 burger patties, the J special, 4 burger patties with 1 slice of cheese. Because if you have more than 1 slice, it just makes a mess. It ain't worth it. You gotta have those specials. What's the number one thing that you think you missed being away from the Omaha Beef?
Honestly, the fans. That's one thing that I've always said kind of stuck out and what makes indoor special compared to all other football leagues is how interactive it is for the fans. And, you know, on top of that, the most obvious is how close fans sit to the game. That's special, and that's just what brings the fans into it more. Like, as a football player, you don't really hear actual people when you're playing a football game. You're looking at little ants in the crowd, but like indoor, you're seeing every person up front. So fans have a way bigger impact on a game. So honestly, just the fans celebrating at the Slaughterhouse, you know, that's something you won't really get anywhere else.
I like how he sets it there. I mean, he tells you why you guys are so important, and it's not just something he thinks of. It's he knows how important. When you think of your experiences with other quarterbacks, and of course you're on the defensive side, but you've really got to feel confidence. Have you been able to talk to Espinoza?
I have. Yeah, we had a quick conversation. Actually, hold on, I want to pull it up, but we went to an XFL camp together in 21, and we got a picture together with that special guest. You might know him. He might be a little famous, but now that's one thing we talked about. But just having that familiarity between each other, and I've seen him in the last couple of games, and obviously with the win streak, he's holding it down. And I think we had that problem in the beginning of last season, but you know, whenever you're unsure of the quarterback, or if you're having that quarterback battle in season, it kind of it's not as clean as it is at the end of the season. Once you know who your guy is, and once they're comfortable in the system, you know, it's probably like an unfair advantage to the battles that you got going on. But he's been holding it down. So
well,
I
it's
respect his game.
Hopefully that lucky number 7. You know how that dice game works? 7. It's our 7th quarterback looking to get us to our 6th championship in a row. And ROC's been around.
Crazy.
We greatly appreciate you joining Primetime Beef Huddle as we're getting out of here, but also joining this weekend. We'll once again have the watch party at Hurrdat Sports Bar. Make sure to come out. I'll start at about 5:00 with the game kicking off at 6:05. Come join for the atmosphere. Remember, that link in this below is what you can click to help us understand how many people are going to be there, so we make sure that the restaurant is prepared. If you don't do it, that's okay. But you also get a free extra ticket for swag, which we all know. Everybody wants some Omaha Beef swag as we're finishing up the season here. Well, ROC, what do we got here? Hold on. Let's see here. Ooh.
I don't know. But you can see that's us right there on the left or the right. But that's prime time right there.
Prime time. I was gonna say that. No stuff, huh, Mr. Sanders?
It's kind of hard to see, but
look at Quentin right there. Look at
but yeah, we had a picture together. So you know,
it's
funny. You
awesome.
Never know who you run into.
Well, good luck to you and the team, and we greatly appreciate everything that you guys do, and especially you being back. I know Beef Nation's going to be loud, at least here. I'm not saying so much down there, but don't worry, you guys will handle business. And welcome back to the Omaha Beef, ROC.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me. Yeah, we're gonna hold it down. We're gonna bring it back.
Well, I'll let you help me get us out of here. As we always say before we sign off, it's always what? Go Beef!
Go Beef!
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Omaha Beef Coaches Show.
You either want it that bad, or you just want to be having the name on your shirt.
We're going to discuss with him everything going on here. We want to set the standard. We want to give our fans the best thing possible that we can.
But we are the #1 TRT company in the nation.
And then we got out there, first possession, scored.
going to be here every Monday night, 6 o'clock, Goose's, downtown Papillion.
Let's get this started now.